and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. I have a very special guest with me, Isaac. Hi, Isaac.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome, man. Nice to have you on the show. Something I've been trying to do for ages. Finally got around to linking up. We're here.
Yes, here we are.
Please explain to the viewers why you're in bed.
I've just had a late night.
Wondering what's going on. They're like, what's in bed?
Yeah, I had a late night last night. Yeah, checking. So yeah, I'm lying down because I have a disability called Pelvic Hypoplasia, which means I have no arms and short legs, and I lie on my side to use the computer. So that's how I use the computer with my feet.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that. For people first seeing this, as I said, they may be a bit
of course. Of course.
Even though we're promoting the right way and show what it's about. Like, what's going on there? So tell me a bit about pelvic hypoplasia.
Yeah, so it's basically it's like a deformity when you're born with, and that means I have no arms and short legs, and that's basically it in a nutshell.
Cool. So to go back to your childhood and tell me a bit about kind of challenges, schooling and things like that.
So I grew up in East London, where I was fostered at 3 months.
Okay.
And then I ended up being adopted by the same family when I was 5. And the family that I was brought into have just been so supportive since day one. And they've always never told me, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. They've always encouraged me to always be the best version of myself. And that's really helped me into who I am today, just overcoming obstacles, taking new experiences, and just experiencing life really to the best of my ability. And even in the same with school, having learning support assistants who helped me during class. They would just assist me in every lesson, and without them, I wouldn't have done school. Basically, I wouldn't have had a normal school day without their support and help. So, I've had a lot of supportive people around me, and I feel with them and their encouragement has just really helped me become the independent person I am now.
That's great. That's great to hear, and how important having a good upbringing and that support from your family makes to you as a human being.
Yes.
I can see that in what you do. When I look at your YouTube videos and your content you put out there, I can see that someone who's just making the most out of life, and he's focusing on the positives. And even with I love that short film you did about the ability rather than disability. I love that because we can all say that. We can all look at what we can do and what we can achieve, rather than what we have that we can look on that may hold us back from achieving things in life. So no, I definitely love that short film you did, man. That was that inspired me.
Oh, great. Yes. Yeah. Because, I was doing that for International Day of Disabled People back in 2018. And it's just basically saying, look, everyone has this ability to do whatever they want. It's mind over matter. If you think you can do it, you can do so. Yeah,
I really like that. So do you take any medications, or is it just...
So the only medications I really take is for pain. So I get quite a lot of leg pain.
Oh, right.
For sitting for long periods of time. And the only reason I had this leg pain is because of my scoliosis, which I didn't mention earlier. It's the curvature of the spine. And when I had my last operation, it tilted my pelvis. And then that kind of meant I leant more to my right side. and I have more pressure on my leg when I'm sitting. So yeah, that's the main medication I take. I also have reflux, where I have medication to stop the inflammation of my chest.
Mm. So have you had many operations since you was born? Or?
Yeah, so the only operation I really had was on my back for the scoliosis, and that I had that up until 2013.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I had it every year. So I had metalwork put into my back to keep my back straight. And every year, because I was growing taller, they would have to extend it.
Wow.
And then in my last operation, they took that metalwork out and then they fused my spine to a metalwork. So it's in there permanently now.
Cool. So talk about your network of family and friends and how important it's been to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a big family and friends. So I have my mom and brother who live at home with me. They support me on a daily basis.
Oh, okay.
They help, so I'm still at home. And then outside of that, I've got, well, my whole family, I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters, and 3 sisters, all living all over the place. They don't live at home. They are older than me. So when I joined the family, I was much younger than them. And yeah, they're all supportive in their own way. I go out quite a lot with my sister, who has helped me go to places like New York and
That's cool.
Skiing in Switzerland and all types of different places. And then I have close friends who also do the same and help me go abroad and places like that. So I do rely on my friends and family quite a lot to help me out, really. And ultimately, look, I don't really see them as carers. I see them as friends, and we just do it because we're friends.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And family the same.
Yeah. Do you ever feel you're a bit of a burden, or is it you feel it's just a part of it, like you said, because of your relationship? You don't feel maybe guilty that you may be stopping them from getting on with what they want to do in their lives?
The only time I feel it's a burden, as per se, is when I have to ask them to come out with me, because I don't have a PA. I don't have
okay.
Yeah, and it's something I do need to look into properly. But yeah, for the longest time, I'd ask for friends and they say, oh, I know that they work and they have to take time off. To them, it's like if they have time, they'll do it. But for me, it's like, oh, I'm really asking them a huge favor here. But when we're out and doing things, it's never a burden between us.
Yeah, you have that relationship and that bond.
Yeah, and it's really good.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So could you talk a bit about mental health, Isaac? Because I know you're a very positive person. I know your approach to life. As I said, that inspired me, seeing footage of your videos and things like that. But just talk about mental health and those moments that maybe you're not feeling that great within yourself. Like we all have our ups and downs. It's just
of course
things. But tell me about how that is and kind of how you deal with that.
So, well, we're all humans. We all have good and bad days. It would be a bit weird if it was all good all the time.
Yeah.
But I had, for the longest time, so growing up, I had all the support and all the help, and I always felt it was quite easy for me to overcome things when it came to my disability. So overcoming things like traveling and doing things that people don't think I could do with my disability, I thought that was just second nature to just overcome that. But the biggest problem was internal happiness and being in peace with myself. and I always struggled with it. And I, with most people who go through negative thoughts and depression and things like that, you always feel that you're battling it on your own and you
Yeah.
can't really go and ask people. And when you do ask people, it's like, again, going back to when we said about burden, it's like they don't really want to be hearing that.
Yeah. I hear you.
Um, and it was also another problem of, and I spoke about this recently on my LinkedIn page, of always being on top of your game, as people always see you as this inspiration.
Yes.
And I had got to a point where I was like, I don't want to disappoint people, because
Mhm.
they know I'm Isaac, the guy who jumps out of a plane, or I'm Isaac who overcome this barrier and that barrier. So I was like, oh, I can't tell people I'm upset. Like, what will people think? They'll think totally different of me. So it's just that constant thought process and that vicious cycle of I've always got to be on top of my game. And then it got to a point in 2017, beginning of 2018, where it just got to a breaking point. And
Mm.
I was like, oh gosh, I really need to fix myself here and really start learning about the process of the mind.
Yeah.
So for the first time, I took a step back and I actively started searching online about these about the mind and depression and stuff like that. And that's when I started learning about the law of attraction, how we think, feel, and speak is the reality that we create. Um, and then I started being honest with friends and family. And surprise, surprise, they actually wanted to listen and actually say, "Oh, is this how you actually been feeling? We can help you. You're not alone on it." And it was like, oh, that was such a big relief that I can actually speak about it. And then online, I started being more honest as well. And then that's when people really took inspiration for what I was saying. And then that's when I realized that honesty is the real inspiration.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
If you're honest with people, that's when people really can really relate to you.
No, I hear
Um,
that.
and then that vicious cycle turned into a more positive cycle. And since then, and since learning that and meditating and hearing all different types of ways of dealing with it, I would say I've been quite positive for the past 3 years. Um, Obviously, it's not been perfect, but I've been positively happy in myself, and I feel good.
Yeah, that's good to know. Did you
Yeah.
ever think about seeing a therapist or anything, or was it more you felt with family and friends and the people around you you could get through this?
I never really went to a therapist. I did do it in school, because there was a break point in school. I was like, I'm just fed up with school. Um, and they get me to speak to someone. And at that time, it's like, why am I speaking to you? And they're telling me things which are which should be helping me. But when you're in that mindset, it's like, I don't want to be hearing this.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't want to be hearing what you have to say. Um, so what really helped me was just taking my own initiative to learn about it and talking with friends and family. I guess I could have gone down the route of that, but I just know sometimes they put you on these medications, and
Mm.
even though I can't fault them, like they do help people, but I just know they have these long-term effects and can sometimes affect your health and stuff like that. I didn't really want to take a medication, um, especially knowing what I learned and how your mind's really the biggest medicine you can have, really.
Yeah, no, it's 100%.
Hmm.
100%. So you're president of Wheels for Wheelchairs. How did you get into that?
Right. So, for those who don't know what Wheels and Wheelchairs is, it's a outdoor activity sports club where people on roller skates and rollerblades push wheelchair users.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and we've been doing that for, well, so actually, I'll tell you a bit of history. So it started all the way back in 2012. after a French group in Paris for their 20th anniversary, who had been doing this wheelchair roller skating for much longer, challenged themselves to travel all the way from Paris all the way to London, just in time for the Paralympic start games. So they knew how to get from the French border, and then they needed help from the edge of England to London, and they came over, and then they came over to all these skaters.
Yeah.
And all these skaters are like, wow, we need to start something here. Yeah. And that's when Wheels and Wheelchairs was born. And I knew about it in end of 2018. I went to Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. And I went on the ice rink in my powered wheelchair. And an ice marshal came up to me and said, oh no, we started talking, and he said, oh, would you be interested in wheelchair roller skating? I thought, oh, that's weird. Wheelchair roller skating. Never heard anything like that before. And yeah, I went over and had a meeting with them, and I just absolutely loved what they were doing. Went to Battersea Park where they do it on a weekly basis, and I loved it. And then I went again on a Sunday skate, which they travel with about 500 different skaters. And yeah, it was just, right, sorry. So it came in. And there was like 300-400 skaters going around London skating. And I was just part of this, and I was like, wow. And they said, oh, we've been doing this, like the skating community, been doing this since like 2000. And I thought, wow, I've lived in London all my life, and I've never heard that happening.
Yeah, I used to live
every single Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday. So and then I got involved all of through 2019. Absolutely loved it. And then at the end of the year, we have a AGM, where it's like an annual general meeting because we have a committee and things.
Yeah.
And because of my huge involvement, they asked me if I would like to take the role of being the president, because when I had joined, sadly, the previous president had passed away.
Oh, okay.
She was just a lovely person. Her name was Janet. And I unfortunately never got a chance to meet her. Yeah. I emailed her saying I would like to get involved, and she sent this really lovely email saying, oh, we'd love to have you. And that same weekend, because I emailed and I never got a response back for a while, she had passed away. So when everyone asked me to take on the role, I was like, I've got big shoes to fill here, because she made friends with everyone and everyone felt welcomed. And I thought, oh gosh, I gotta really,
you gotta level up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, got a lot to live for. Yeah.
Gotta boss up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But also, throughout my year, I saw a lot of potential in what we're doing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take on this role and really make it something. So, and that's how I got involved. Yeah.
How's it going? Are you filling those boots?
I hope so. You have to ask the others.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I think, I started an Instagram page for them and uploaded videos, and yeah, we've got a lot of roller skaters wanting to push, and more wheelchair users have wanted to get involved. So yeah, no, it's good fun.
Yeah, no, it sounds great.
Yeah, good fun.
So you're also a peer facilitator for people with disabilities and mental health conditions.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So yeah, so that's for a local charity in my area, and basically for years I did work for them here and there, but I was then contracted to do this role where we facilitate workshops in the creative industries.
Yeah.
And we, at the beginning, what we would do is get people to come in, like filmmakers, poets, script writers, the lot would come in and share their expertise with the participants, and so they get a better understanding of what happens within that industry. And then that led on to it being a bit more flexible with the workshops. So then we went on to doing like yoga, and story writing. And then it kept on getting extended because this was all through COVID. We did them online, and because we wanted to engage with the participants, we just kept on getting extended. And then that led on to this year where we've been able to go back in person, and we've delivered this. We've just finished a 6-month program where we did art workshops with artists.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. And also I make videos for the organization as well.
That's good. You're a busy man, aren't you?
Oh gosh, it doesn't stop.
Speaking of that, could you talk about a YouTube channel, which I thoroughly enjoy your videos, what you've been up to? Well, it's amazing, like that vlogging, all the events. Tell me why you started it. And the channel's called I Need a Cool Name.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when YouTube first started, it was probably about 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
I just loved watching people's videos and what people were creating. And I thought, oh, I can make my own stuff like this. So I started the channel creating gaming montages and funny moments in games, like glitches and things like that. Because I wanted to be a YouTuber where I didn't show my face and what I got up to.
Yeah.
That was my goal at first. And then the 2012 came around, and someone I knew at the time, a filmmaker, filmed me playing video games, because I used to play video games with my feet. And he was like, we really need to showcase this on YouTube. And I thought, I don't really want to, but I'll do it because, that's cool. So that was the first time I showed my face playing video games with my feet. And then that led on to, in 2012, also the same year, the Olympics came around, and I was nominated to be a torchbearer.
Wow.
For the 2012 games. Thanks to my school, because I was a high achiever and things, they nominated me. And I ended up getting through to being able to carry it. And then he filmed that, and that was like my second video on the channel.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a cool experience. And then it was end of 2012 when I was doing my A-levels. Someone filmed me for another video, and I was talking to them saying, oh, I'd love a GoPro to do my filming, because that was like an easier camera to explain to people when out.
Yeah.
And the guy kindly gave me a GoPro for Christmas.
Wow.
Which I wasn't expecting. And then I just started using that GoPro to start vlogging. So thanks to him, I was able to start the vlogging journey. And also the school gave me software, which at the time I was doing media. And to do the lessons at school, as I mentioned earlier, I had a learning support assistants. And some of them, I have to admit, weren't too great on the computer. So trying to teach them how to edit a video as well was going to be a bit of a struggle. So the school gave me software that I could use at home. Yeah. And that's how I started to learn how to edit. And then the vlogging came, and then I did that for a couple of years, just filming my journeys, and that led on to me then making professional content. And yeah, that's really the YouTube journey. But I got to a point where I was looking at the numbers, not really enjoying it as much.
I hear you.
Yeah. And I haven't uploaded for 3 years because I just was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. But I'm still glad I still make videos. And I do short videos on Instagram sometimes, and then the Wheels and Wheelchairs, I make videos, and then my LinkedIn's kind of blown up too, so I make videos there too.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So where can people find you? Where you know?
Yeah, so most of my handles is at I am Isaac Harvey. That's on Instagram and Facebook, but I mainly post on LinkedIn now, which is Isaac Harvey.
Cool. Any last positive words to leave us with, coming from such a positive person?
To be honest, at the end of the day, you just got to believe in yourself, and if you want to do something and you believe it, it can happen.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. Thank you so much for your time, Isaac. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and I know you're a busy man, so finding some time out of your busy schedule to
no problem
happen. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
Nah, you're welcome. People, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you guys soon. Thank you, Isaac. Peace.
Perfect. Subscribe.